3. It was like, can I remember?
All right, we'll do them individually. Don't worry. All right, you guys ready? All ready? All right, good. So we'll go ahead and bring to order the Planning Commission for Wednesday, July 23rd. And we'll go ahead, start with the roll call.
Chair Lane,
Here.
Vice Chair Polito,
Here.
Commissioner Tonelli,
Here.
Commissioner Levison,
Here.
and Commissioner Luckers.
Here. All right, very good. The next item on the agenda is the item for public comments for items that aren't on the agenda. Sometimes people come up and give us an update on a project that they've seen or give us feedback on something that's going on in their neighborhood or bring up something like chickens that we ought to look into. So if there's anybody here to talk on something other than items on the agenda, I'll go ahead and open the public comment, and nobody's rushing up, so I'll close the public comment. And now we'll go ahead with the rest of the items on the agenda. The next item is going to be the approval of minutes. And there's a number of minutes. We're getting caught up on some minutes reporting that we had, so we're going to take it in oldest date order first. All right, so that's the February 26th. It looks like everybody was here on that one. Is that true? No, yeah.
Paul was online.
Paul, you're online on that one, so you can vote on it because you listened to it, but you were, yeah, okay. I need a motion and a second.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, Jerry, seconds. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, March 26th. I didn't see anything out of whack on that one myself. I'll go ahead and move to approve the minutes. Second? Your official second. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, that one passes unanimously. And then on May 28th,
April.
this one,
Yeah, you skipped April.
April
oh,
23rd.
it was stuck together. April 23rd, Bob, you were out on that one, so it says you were absent. Okay, good. That was valid. All right, so I need a motion to.
Motion to approve.
All right, motion approved.
Second.
And our official seconder tonight. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, May 28th. Didn't see anything on that one that was abnormal. Paul, you want to do that one?
I'll move that we approve the minutes from May 28th, 2025.
Second.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No,
I took your turn.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm so
It's,
sorry.
Jerry,
I thought we were
Jerry
shaking it up.
seconds, Jerry seconds. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, good. All right, June 25th, we need to, let's see, Paul, you were out on that one, so,
All motion to, I'll approve.
Second.
all right, moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye, and one abstention, right?
Abstain.
Right, and then the last one where Bob was out, that he abstained on that one too. Did you catch the abstention on the, what date was that?
25th of June?
I know, I meant on,
Oh, for Bob?
yeah, for Bob.
28.
No, April's the one I abstained.
Yeah,
right.
April 23rd.
All right,
Yeah.
did you catch the abstention on the 23rd? Because Bob Polito, Bob wasn't here.
What's the 23rd? Which month are you talking
April
about?
23rd.
April 23rd. All right, that was one
I
abstention
can't
on that
vote
one.
aye.
Yeah. One abstention on that, and then one abstention on the 25th. Mr. Tonelli on the 25th. All right, that was fun. All right, next items then will be, the procedure on them will be the same on all of them. And if anybody comes in, I'll go ahead and make sure everybody's up to speed, so you may hear this more than once. On all items, what we're going to be doing is we'll hear an update from staff and give us an overview of the item. And the commission can ask questions of staff. Then we'll have a public comment section. We'll start with the applicant or their representative, and then anyone else who wants to speak on the item. And then we'll bring it back to the commission for discussion and action as appropriate. We'll do that, everyone. If you might hear it again, as I said, because I want to make sure everybody who walks in later for a later item, they know what's going on. So with that, we're going to look at the consideration of the tree protection zone exception for 92 Caballo Lane. Who's on this one? Jerry on this one? All right. Yeah, this. Oh, you're bringing back my corporate days. I'm going to start flinching. Okay.
All right. This is Assistant Planner Jerry Martin here to present the tree protection zone exception for 92 Sabalo Lane. Next slide. No, next slide, please. Okay.
Get paid by the hour, right? Control Alt Delete usually works really well. You can walk us through it. We've got it in front of us and we can talk
Okay.
and we'll catch
All
up
right,
with you.
sounds good.
All right.
So the permit is under PTPZ 25-00006, and the request is a tree protection zone exception for 2 coastal redwood trees. Yeah, there we go. One 33.2-inch coastal redwood, and the request is at 3.5 times the diameter at breast height. And the other is a 35.5-inch coastal redwood, and the request is at 5.8 times diameter at breast height. And planning staff is recommending approval for this tree protection zone exception.
Okay.
Next slide, please. So this lot is located at the end of a cul-de-sac on Sabalo Lane, which is a spur off of Selby Lane, located in the northwestern edge of the town of Atherton, near Redwood City and County Land, which is North Fair Oaks. And it is a 0.37 acre size lot, which is 16,186 square feet. It's roughly rectangular shaped, width of 71 and a length of about 217. It's generally flat, and it is an R1A lot, though it's about the 1/3 the size of a normal R1A lot. And that's due to the fact that it was a lot that was derived from a SB9 urban lot split, and that was done in 2023. So the original lot was 78 Sabalo Lane, and it included 92 and 90 Sabalo Lane, which is the one directly under it. Though it is smaller than a typical R1A lot, the adjacent lots are all R1B and mostly similar in size. Next slide, please. So what is being proposed there is a 3,363 square foot main residence with an attached garage in the front, and then an attached 799 square foot ADU to the side, and then other accessory structures in the rear yard.
So this brings up my question about the ADU, the validity of an ADU without a door outside. So as I look at this floor plan, it looks to me like the only access to the ADU is off the entry area.
There is a door in the living room area. I mean, it's a little hard to see there, but
Is it on the left side in the middle? Is that where it
on
is?
the left, as we see it here on the left side.
Where, can you point? Okay, so that's what that door is. It's in the middle of the ADU.
Right, yeah, right there highlighted in yellow is the ADU portion.
Right, I
And
got
there's
that, but where's the exterior door?
the living room.
Town planner Brittany Bendix. I'll pull up the plan so we can zoom in and get a
All right,
clearer
good.
view
All
of
right,
it.
cool.
But in the meantime, do you want Jerry to proceed?
No, that's all right. That's all right. I just want to make sure there's an exterior door. All right.
Okay. So the planning department received an application for this back in last year in August. It was conditionally approved in December, though the town arborist had comments, and they had to alter the design because it could not be approved at staff level. So there was an alteration that changed the driveway and slightly the placement of the house and ADU to preserve the trees rather than to remove them. And that revision was conditionally approved by the planning department in March, a few months ago. And now it has to go to planning commission for approval. Next slide, please.
That one.
So as I said earlier, the exception request is for 2 coastal redwoods. In the picture there, they're a bit tough to see because it's in close proximity to each other and to other trees, but they're in the middle, and tree 5 is in that picture in the front and tree 8 is behind. On the right is a diagram showing the tree protection zones and the requested exceptions. So in red is the 10 times diameter breast height tree protection zone. And in green is the exception. So for tree 5, which is the one on the right there, the exception you see touches the front garage of the main residence. And on tree 8, it touches the front garage and also the attached ADU. But the exception is for where it touches the garage and the main residence, as the ADU is less than 800 square feet and therefore exempt from heritage tree ordinance per the code. Next slide, please.
Is that oak tree going to be taken down?
Sorry, what was that?
The leaning oak tree taken, is that being taken down?
Is that
Number
being
9.
taken down, Seth?
It's
No.
not?
When it's time for me, I can go over.
All right, good, because it's leaning hard on the power lines or the, whatever those lines are. Like 6 different lines are being pulled down. Tree. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So the applicant and project arborist rationale for the request to the TPZ exception. The encroachment will be 30% for tree 5 and less than 10% for tree 8. Coastal redwoods are known to have high tolerance for construction impacts. So the project arborist believes that if, follow the recommendations to protect the tree, that they will be able to withstand these construction impacts just fine. And then the applicant raises the fact that the size of the lot greatly limits the developable area and that the design of the project has already been altered to preserve as many trees as possible and to prevent removal of trees. Next slide, please. The town arborist recommends approval for these TPZ exceptions, concurs with the project arborist in that the trees have good health and condition and that they can withstand construction impacts. Additionally, Sally concurs with the applicant that there is site constraints and that the design was already altered to preserve the trees. So she can recommend approval for both of the coastal redwood trees with the requirements that the project arborist needs to be on hand during excavation and that excavations are required to be performed by hand. Additionally, all roots larger than 1 inch in diameter should be cut with a sharp saw and no roots over 2 inches should be cut. And that the trees are fertilized and irrigated during the summer months for 3 years, and that all work is required to be documented in quarterly arborist reports. Next slide, please. Planning staff follows Sally's recommendation and additionally recommends that the Planning Commission approve the 3.5 times TPZ exception for the 33.2 inch coastal redwood and 5.8 times TPZ exception for 35.5 inch coastal redwood. Next slide, please. Thank you.
So Sally, tell us about the oak tree, or tell me about the oak tree.
So I don't know about the oak tree. If the applicant wishes to remove it, they're welcome to apply, or I can take a look at it.
Well, we'll hear from the applicant then on that.
So, yeah, so the applicant applied to remove 4 trees on this site. Most of the trees were healthy, so I denied it. So the applicant worked with me. They redesigned their project to preserve all of the trees on site. They wanted the driveway in a different location, but they're willing to use the existing driveway footprint. Also, I did receive in the past from the neighbor that they love those trees and they act as really good screening. So that will help with that as well. And also because this lot is the size of an R1B, which has a TPZ of 6 times, but with a staff exception down to 3 times, and they're asking for more than 3 times, I have no problem recommending this project.
Any questions?
Yeah, maybe I'm missing something. So you're talking about the leaning oak. That's not tree number 9 that was.
No,
approved?
no.
Okay.
It's just, there was a 2 redwoods, right?
Just we're just talking about the 2 redwoods. Yeah.
Right.
Right, but you brought up the leaning oak.
Yeah, but that's not in the report. I was just concerned because it's.
No, there's an oak tree in the back of the property, but
that's
the applicant
It's
can
right
speak
next to the
on it.
redwoods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not number 9 then?
No,
the one you're referring
No, we're
Right.
just discussing the 2
Yeah.
redwoods, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, any questions, any other questions? I'll go ahead and open up a public comment section for the applicant or the representative. Is anybody here for the item? All right, good. Come on up. Go ahead and say your name and your,
Okay. Hi, my name is Rosa and I live in Sabella Lane. I just want to express our feelings that myself and other neighbors have. We feel by allowing them to build closer to the coastal redwoods that they will harm the roots of those trees and potentially lose them. These trees are mature trees with long extended roots and they need to be protected. At 92 Sabala Lane, they have not kept up with the lot. The lot has overgrown weeds that even some neighbors have complained to the town because of the fire danger. So we do not have confidence that the landowners are seriously going to protect our beautiful redwoods in our court. They have already gotten an preliminary approval on the design without needing an exemption, from what I understand. And they already taken out a lot of trees and have permission to remove more. We, the neighbors, request to deny the request in fear of losing our majestic trees in our court. We feel that we've all moved over to Atherton because of our beautiful majestic trees that our town has. Please help us protect our trees by keeping the tree protection zone in place with no exceptions. Please consider our request. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant here? Oh, sorry, I was waiting for you to be first.
It's okay, it's fine.
All right, I didn't see you raise a hand. All right, come on, all right,
Hi,
thank,
my name is Anat Sokol. I'm the owner
okay,
and applicant. First of all, I agree with my neighbor. The reason why we purchased this lot is because of the beautiful trees and the nice neighbors. And you are nice. We already talked many times. And I agree with them. We have to keep the trees. And this is exactly the reason why we revised the plan. So this lot created by SB9 split. And it's a very narrow lot, only 71 widths. And the house itself, we wish to build for ourselves a one-story house. Unfortunately, because of the setback, we need to build a two-story house. And then we submit the plans and planning approval, and like any other house, we did a driveway and a pathway. And then I talked to Sally, and Sally said, we have to keep the trees. And I agree with her, so I said, what can we do? And Sally came up with a great idea. Let's combine between the driveway and the pathway, and in this way, we can keep the trees, because we try to think, is there any other ways to keep the trees besides changing? Because we already on the 5 feet setback on the side, 60 feet on the, and there are trees in the front and trees in the back. So if we push the house to the back, problem. If we push it to the front, problem, even with the setback. So Sally came up and said, you know what, let's do the driveway on the existing driveway. We already have a concrete there. Let's do it in the same area. And this was a good idea, because in this way we can keep the trees. And even the leaning oak that you mentioned, although the arborists say we can remove it and we got approval, I'll talk with my beautiful neighbors, and if we can keep it, I'll keep it. It's only like a little bit hazard, maybe it can fall, but if not, I do want to keep the trees. It's a great screening, great creating beautiful environment. So basically the only way to develop this lot is by doing this DPZ. If I could do something else, I would, but already two-story house.
Right.
I cannot do 3-story, I'm
Right.
sorry. I'm already on the setback line. And we will try to keep them, because it's not only for my neighbor, it's for us. This is what makes this lot so unique. So after many, many thoughts and time together with Sally and Gary, this is the only solution we came up with. And I can assure you that the arborist that will work there is a professional one. And we make sure that this tree will stay there. This is my interest, just like my neighbors.
right.
So I will appreciate your approval for this,
right.
because this is the only way to develop this area.
All right, thank you
so
very
much.
much. All right, thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak on the item? Anybody else online? Okay, good. Now I'm going to go ahead and close the public comment section, bring it back for discussion and action as appropriate with the commission. So the only thing I'd say on the oak trees is if they're it needs to be pruned for sure, because it's like there's a 3 to 4 foot drop in the wires that are going through it. And so there might be a way to prune it, but it'd have to be done really, really well because there's a lot of wires in there. And it might even be the type of thing where the wires have to be restrung because literally it's pulling them down. If you look at it, it looks like a banjo string that's cut down. So anyway, just for what it's worth, it's not a part of this this process, but it is part of the plan. Go ahead. Anything else? I know. Yeah, I know. I just want to make sure it doesn't be a problem. All right. Anyway, I'm okay with it. The thing is, the trees are well established, and the root system's deep and should protect the trees. Is that correct, Sally?
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's moved to the front is because there's a large oak tree in the backyard, which also, it makes it so they can't put any structures back there. So that's why the house is moved forward.
Right.
Unfortunately, I mean,
Right.
you know, so they're really trying to preserve the trees.
All right. Very good. All right.
I think I would just say we're all here to preserve trees. Nobody wants to see them, obviously, get damaged, but I really have confidence that if Sally thinks that trees are protected enough and they are very big, mature trees, great deal of confidence that owner seems like they're very concerned about the trees, and our arborist is telling us that that she thinks that the trees will survive this. So all due respect to your concern, I mean, don't think we're not listening to that, but we have experts here to tell us that they're sure that they will not.
And redwoods are very tenaciously alive. They'll stay alive a lot, as we know. All right. I need a motion.
Motion.
All right.
I move that the planning commission approve the tree protection zone exception permit, PTPZ 25 bunch of zeros and a 6 at 92 Sabalo Lane. The reasons described in the draft tree protection zone exception permit certificate categorically exempt the project from the provisions of CEQA under AMC section 15.32.100 and CEQA section 15.304.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, so everybody's I like the fact that everybody's been good neighbors and they're going to stay that way. So thank you very much. All right. And that's item B is the heritage tree removal of 2 valley oaks and 1 cedar to accommodate construction of a new single-family home at 285 Camino Alago. So let's go ahead with the staff overview on this one. And this is all this packet is. I thought, Jerry, this was your presentation, this whole thing. So good.
Now, we're town planner Brittany Bendix. We've tried to compile all the PowerPoint presentations so you can flip through and use
Right.
it for notes.
I figured that out by the time I got to the thank you.
It's only about the second or third hearing on
Alright.
this. Brittany Bendix, town planner. I'm presenting the heritage tree removal request at 285 Camino Alago. Slide. The staff is recommending that the Planning Commission approve heritage tree removal requests for 2 valley oaks. That's trees number 1 and 10, and deny the heritage tree removal request for the 1 deodar cedar tree number 6. Some background on this property, it might look familiar. You saw it last month. It is a 1.2 acre lot in the R1A zoning, situated between Fairview and Barney on Camino Alago. And at the southeastern border of the city, border with the city of Menlo Park. The Atherton Channel also runs along the north side of the property. And at last month's hearing, you previously approved the removal of 1 coast live oak, which was tree number 20, and a valley oak, which was tree number 18. There was a 3rd tree requested for removal, but because there was an option for a tree protection zone exception and retention of that tree, not approve the removal. Next slide. So the site plan on the left is taken from the staff report. It shows all three trees that are under the removal request tonight. It's tree number 1, 6, and 10. And I've also included tree number 20 and 18 here, which you approved last month, just for reference. As you'll recall in the staff report, the project arborist did report that some of these trees were in fair to good condition, and that there were some potentials for long-term defects, but that sometimes pruning and anchoring might be a solution. Slide, please. The town arborist, in review of the project proposal, supports the removal of trees number 1 and 10 due to structural concerns that were raised in the project arborist report, as well as her site visits and assessment at the site. However, she recommends denial of the removal for tree number 6. She notes that the tree was in good health and felt that the canopy be pruned to offset the weight, as well as was consistent in the project arborist report. She also felt that the applicant could adjust the location of the driveway to preserve the tree. They did not provide any alternative locations in their application that gave an indication that they had even considered alternatives to the layout of the driveway. Her recommendation for replacement plantings are 4 36-inch box oak trees. That's just for tree number 1 and 10. If the planning commission does approve the removal of tree number 6, the town arborist is asking the planning commission to require a replacement with 4 24-inch box Chinese pistache trees.
Okay. Any questions, staff?
Next slide.
Oh,
This is our recommendation. Again, approve the 2 Valley Oak removals and deny the cedar tree. I do want to acknowledge that we received 1 comment letter in response to this, the public notice that was sent to me fairly late today, and I printed it out for your interest. This is from the same neighbor whose concerns I addressed in the staff report, really seeking to work with the applicant in terms of location of trees and landscape screening, and not really being able to connect with them to find a solution.
all right. All right. But thank you, Sly.
That
Yes,
concludes
reuse.
that concludes my
All
presentation.
right, any questions of staff?
Yeah, I do. These trees aren't in the buildable area, and it's not clear to me where the driveway is from all of this pile of drawings I have. Is it because of the driveway that they need to have these removed?
So for tree number 10 in the back, that is more for health reasons. They could have gotten a TPZ exception for the main residence. However, the tree is, for health reasons, I can recommend removal. But for the other 2, for tree
10 is a sick tree.
10, yes. And then tree 1, which is near the existing, near the proposed driveway. And then the cedar tree is also near the proposed driveway. So those 2 trees are for the driveway.
I'll share my screen and zoom in on the plan so you can understand where the driveway is relative to the
Yeah.
tree.
The tree's there now, and there's a driveway there now, right?
There's a driveway located further away than what they're proposing to tree number 1, which is the tree closest to the neighbor. And then for the other tree, there is no driveway there.
Okay.
So here you can follow my cursor. It's this
Somebody
32,
got their
32-inch tree.
spirograph out.
Cursor doesn't want to stay put. Where it is now is hovering over the driveway location. It's kind of a bulbous shape.
Is this the best map you have?
If you look at my memo, I highlighted the proposed driveway in yellow, which because of the,
Right.
yeah, it's a
This
lot
one-
easier to see.
Is this what, is this one?
No, that's alternative.
So
I
the
will bring up
page
the
8 of your
memo, too.
report, is that the one you're
Up
looking
the
at?
memo. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, is it the yellow outline on page 8 of your report?
Yeah,
Right.
so that is the proposed driveway. And I clouded the 2 trees for removal that are near the proposed driveway, but Brittany will bring it up.
I don't have that page.
It's page 8 of the town arborist memo, not page
Oh.
8 of the report.
Okay,
So this is,
all right.
So you'll see the cloud down on the bottom of the site plan, where that's tree number 1 closest to the neighbor, and then on the top, you'll see the other tree near the proposed driveway. But in the top area, that circle area, there's no driveway in that circle area currently.
We're catching up with you. I had to go through, I needed a Braille version, okay, all right. It's a lot of driveway.
Well, that is a lot of driveway.
So the reason I can't recommend the one on the top is because I didn't see alternative driveways. I mean, for
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
submittal we've ever had to planning commission that I've reviewed, they've shown alternatives, or they've shown a way
Yeah.
that if they can't have an alternative, they either got a letter from Menlo Fire or something where it's the only location. So in this case, I can't recommend removal of a healthy tree in this case.
Yeah, and what's the reason on tree number, is it tree number 1, the one that's on the other side of the driveway?
Tree number 1, I recommend because it has a lot of included bark. There's a lot of branches that are connected at one point. However, and that's the reason I'm recommending it. However, if you did choose not to approve it, I don't think it's going to be a severe hazard if one of those broke off because they're pretty small. However, it's not, it's not good to have so much included bark like that and so many attachments in the same location.
Okay, so it's a kind of a
But
future-
it's not going to be a major hazard if you didn't approve it. However, the design of the driveway would need to change.
Okay,
Because right now it's shown in the driveway, in the proposed driveway.
right. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, just, I hate to kind of beat a dead horse, but back to tree number 1, just because it's specifically mentioned in the
Right.
letter from the neighbor. So the general health of the tree is okay, except for that one area of the tree?
It's okay. If somebody could pull up a photo of it, that'd be great. See how it's not it's a large tree because of all the branches make it large. However, if one of those were to break off, I don't think it's a severe hazard. I mean, as compared to some other trees in Atherton that are larger, over houses, over structures.
And the issue is that they're all spindly and they're all carrying a lot of weight.
Yeah, I mean,
they're
the tree
moderate.
could be pruned to take off some of the weight, so it would be less likely to break apart.
Right.
This is just in arboriculture, this is just not considered to be a good form and
Okay, yes.
structure.
What kind of tree is it? Is this,
This is a valley oak.
okay,
And on your page 8, that is located at the bottom of the driveway?
yeah,
Yep.
in the middle, yeah, in the middle
Right,
of the
right.
roundabout there. Okay,
Make sure.
all right, any other questions? I'll go ahead and open up the public comment section. I don't, the applicant, okay?
That slide up, that was really
All right, good,
She is not the applicant, I just
I-
want to be, okay.
yeah,
Oh, hi, I'm Evangeline Cook, and I live at 289 Camino Lago.
Yeah, yeah.
And I came before you last month about those other trees.
yes, we got your letter.
Yeah, so I gave you the rundown of what happened last month. Before I get into the tree, I would really like to find out if the planning commission has a way of instructing the applicant to make themselves available. I
Are
know
they,
that
they're not here at all? They're not here at all? Well, we give them opportunity. If they don't show up, then then we have to deal with that as an issue because we have questions and they're not here to answer.
Sally, I think you've had problems reaching them. I want to be a good neighbor, you
Correct.
know? We're going to be together for how many months are going to be building that, you
Right.
know? And looking at that picture, I see my house in the background, all the more reason to keep that tree up there. They don't want to look at my house. So anyways,
Right.
that's tree number 1. And I hope I got it straight, that there was just altering the driveway would allow that tree to be there. And then also with some adequate pruning and taking the weight off, there isn't a real hazard to that tree.
I mean, I would
No?
definitely recommend pruning it.
Okay.
And also, which would take out, which might show some more of your house. And yes, they would need, definitely need to alter the driveway.
Okay,
So I had a couple of things, but I think I've covered those, or Sally has. So for all the reasons that have been mentioned, I would like the tree to remain.
right.
There's actually a little brother that's down the lot line that I've mentioned at the end of my memo that at some point, I don't know how to raise that. That's a whole other subject. So I would request that the commission deny the request to remove tree number 1. I don't think it interferes with like the footprint of the house. It's a driveway. They've got plenty of driveway, taking a foot off of it, or I shouldn't be speaking, without knowing for a fact, but altering it does not appear to be a problem in order to maintain the tree. And as we've heard, with some help, I think we can get that tree
Right.
having less of a problem splitting in half and so on. Which leads me to my question. At the end of my memo, I talk about there being this other tree on the fence line. I call it the brother tree because they're so much the same. That didn't qualify for heritage, but it was close.
So that tree that's along the fence line, that is near your property, that's 15 inches diameter, and our heritage tree ordinance is 15.2 inches. So, I mean, it's very close, but see how they're putting a fountain there? And because it's 15 inches and I've raised that to them,
They haven't approved the fountain. Have they applied for the permit to put the fountain? I thought that was,
I mean, all of their permits, they have, the only permit they have received currently is their demo permit. All the rest of the permits are on hold because of tonight's hearing. So nothing has been approved. However, if whatever happens tonight is approved or not approved, then the plan checks will continue.
Okay.
The grading and drainage, if the driveway isn't approved tonight for those 2 trees, they're gonna have to go back and resubmit for grading and drainage, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I mean, they're considering that tree as removed because they're not considering it a heritage tree, which technically it's not. I have not measured it, but their arborist is saying it's only 15 inches. And our rule is 15.2 inches.
so I could possibly, I don't want to appeal. I could request the assistance of the arborist, the commission to see that tree in a different category since it's kind of like borderline. And also because they have not really approved a number of those things like the fountain and so on. And when I spoke to them last week, it was, well, we can move this, we can put this in there. And I thought, okay, great, let's talk about it some more. And they weren't available. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So Sally, what's the deal on a tree that's that close to the line?
So what is submitted is supposed to be accurate. So because I don't go out and measure every tree on every property for every construction project. So I guess it would be a case by case.
Okay, all right.
So long as I know how to proceed.
Right,
I can bring that up at some
To be
point.
honest with you, because it's not heritage, I'm not proceeding, but if somebody else wants me to proceed, then
Right.
I can proceed.
We're talking about 2/10 of an inch?
Yes.
Well, I think we should check it.
yeah. So we'd have to do that by motion to do. Yeah, right, wouldn't we?
Well,
Would you
I
want a
really
motion to do
appreciate
that? You'd want a motion to do that? All right, that's a good point.
Wow,
Yeah.
thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Tried to get a hold of you today to say, do
Okay,
I
thank-
water it more to get it slightly bigger, by a little
Thank
tenth of
you.
an inch? I think that's about it. And you've talked about some of the replacement trees, and they seem, pretty good, 36, 48-inch boxes and so on.
Because I know last time you were saying that you thought the replacements were too small, so.
Who am I to say, okay? I just know my boxes and tree heights, and some of those were like a 10-foot tree replacement for these huge trees.
We need to get back to taking action.
I'm sorry, I
That's
just
right.
really appreciate your
That's all right.
staff for
That's all right.
educating me. So that's all I ask.
All right,
I just
great.
ask that that tree be
Thank you.
denied. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for your
Thank
time.
you.
Mhm.
Anyone else here to speak on the item? Anybody online? Okay, the applicant's not here. Okay, I'll close the public comment section. Tree 10 is the only one that's down, has to be taken down because of health, right? That's the only one I want to approve. That's the only one. And it's too much driveway, not enough reason. Fountain shouldn't be that close to the thing, which is not our thing, but it shouldn't, shouldn't be that close to a neighbor for the noise level at all. So anyway,
It's unfortunate that the applicant didn't even ask any questions.
right,
so.
we'd have a whole lot of questions. Last time I had a lot of questions that the applicants, consistency of their approach, the fact that they're not responsive to a neighbor, the fact that they're not here. I'll take care of the dangerous one, but I'm not going to prove anything else. Anybody else have a comment? Oh, we can, we should also measure that. the
So
tree.
we don't actually have that tree numbered on any of the information that the applicant has submitted to us. So at this point, I would say, I would ask you to direct staff to verify the dimensions of the trees near the proposed fountain along the shared property line.
Okay, all right, as part, we can do that without it being on the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we need a motion on this. Let me see if I can, you got one? All right, you got one? Good.
I move that the planning commission approve the heritage tree removal permit for Valley Oak Tree number 10 placement plantings and deny the heritage tree removal permit, 1 Deodora Cedar number 6 and Valley Oak Tree number 1 at 285 Camino al Lago.
All right, and also, we want to go ahead with the idea of requesting staff to
Verify the dimensions,
Sorry,
verifying the dimensions of
how do we
the,
describe that tree?
asking staff, we can, as Town Planner Brittany Bendix is suggesting, add a condition that staff will verify the dimensions of the trees near the fountain along the shared property line.
a proposed fountain,
Proposed fountain, yeah, thank you.
right? You okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
All right, just like he said.
Just like he said.
Exactly.
Second. All right, moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, we're all, that's it. All right, very good. All right, item 4C is the special structures permit for heritage tree removal and tree protection zone for 65 Linda Vista Avenue. All right, the best existing home I've ever seen on a tour, ever. So it's almost tearful to watch this one go down. All right, who's the staff person on this one?
Me, I am.
Oh, wow. Tom, that's why you had the
And I'm going to
combination.
run the PowerPoint. It's taxing. So good evening, Planning Commissioners. I am here to talk about 65 Linda Vista Avenue, 3 requests, a special structures permit request, TPZ exceptions, and heritage tree removal requests. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve the special structures permit request for increased building and sidewall heights, approve the tree protection zone exception requests, and approve the heritage tree removal request for 1 redwood multi-trunk tree and 1 cedar tree. A little background on the parcel, the site. It's a combined site, so in May of 2025, this year, the San Mateo County Assessor approved a lot merger. I checked as recently as this afternoon, we still do not have a new APN number, so the only way of identifying these are on the existing 63 and 69 Linda Vista. It's in the R1A zoning district. The frontage of the combined lot is over 270 feet long, and the depth is 400 feet. The neighboring properties range in lot size from 0.78 acres to 2.1 acres. But generally speaking, particularly if you look behind it along Monte Vista, for instance, on Monte Vista, those are all basically 1 acre lots, square 1 acre lots. And there's a lot of flag lots on Linda Vista and, over 1 to 1.5 acres each. The existing residence is to be demolished. According to the arborist report and the applicant, there would still remain approximately 65, 67 heritage trees on the site and immediately adjacent. There's an existing driveway on the previous 63 Linda Vista that would be retained and as part of the project would circle out and have a second entry onto Linda Vista. There's a tennis court at the back of the original 63 Linda Vista property that will be refurbished and retained. So here's a site plan of the proposed development. At 2.5 acres, the FAR allows quite a bit, and the proposed residence is over 14,000 square feet. It also has a basement. It is proposing a height of 34 feet and a sidewall height of 25 feet. So both of those are in excess of R1A standards, hence the permit request. It has a detached garage. They're proposing two ADAs, a 1,200 square foot attached ADA at the bottom of the drawing, you can see, and then out closer to the street, a 796 square foot detached ADU. And at the very back, behind the pool, is a small 210 square foot pool pavilion. This is a front elevation. And so based on the proposal and the applicant's request, they need, and that's what we are here to discuss tonight, a special structures permit for the increased building and sidewall height, tree protection zone exceptions for 2 specific trees, and heritage tree removals for 2 specific trees. Let me talk about the special structures permit first. There's 3 findings we need to make, and they're right there. I won't bother to read them all, but it's a lot about privacy and views, screening, landscape screening, again, with respect to privacy, and then consistency with the general plan. Those findings, there was discussion of all 3 of those findings in the staff report. Let me talk a little bit about some of the work we did to reach those findings. This table provides an R1A base requirement for setbacks. Based on the requested height, extended height, there's a required additional footage, 20 feet in each direction. The next column gives you the total required, and then the proposed column shows what they actually provide on the site plan. Well, you can verify it on the site plan, but the proposal proposes the column on the right. So here I've just zoomed in on the left and right side. So you could see some of what's going on. So you'll see, for instance, well, my cursor doesn't work, but let's just look at, oh, here it is. The one at the top left, there's the 50-foot R1A setback. Then you can see it's 77 feet before you get to the facade where they break the sidewall height. And then you get to more than 80 feet where you finally emerge above the 30-foot limit. That's on the one side. And on the other side, you're looking at the right side of the property and the attached ADA, and there's a similar situation there. They set back 40 feet to the ADU, which is allowed because the ADU is allowed to extend into the 50-foot side setback for 20%. It's 79 feet to the facade that breaks the 25, or breaks the sidewall height and goes to 25 feet. And then where the roof breaks the 30-foot limit, there's almost 90 feet from the side property line. And I might point out on the lower right, across the property line is a 20-foot entry to a flag lot. And then beyond that is the front lot that had recently had some new construction and screening. So that's the special structures permit. Let me just speak very briefly about the TPC exceptions. 2 trees. The existing driveway is up to the top of the screen, comes in, and part of the proposal is to add this motor court in front of the main residence and then exit back out. It's not completely symmetrical partly because of the heritage tree situation and trying to minimize their impact. And then you can also see there's a front pedestrian entry that's on axis with the main entrance. So the 2 trees circled in blue are the ones that are being requested. They're both Coast Live Oaks. And on the slide, you can see the DBH information, the health information, and the requested PTPZ. So the town arborist analysis was, well, first of all, the applicant did do a little bit of studying of alternative ways to approach both the motor court and where the driveways could enter and exit. And basically, the town arborist opinion is that the alternatives didn't create a better situation for TPZs. It actually exacerbated the situation. And so partly because of that, the town arborist is able to approve the TPZ request for both trees with 3 conditions: new driveway, alternative material for the driveway with specified distances for each tree, and then hand excavations, and that should be also identified on the grading and drainage plans. The heritage tree removal requests, I've shown those here in purple. Number 8 is a multi-trunk redwood above near the proposed pedestrian entry. And number 12 is the cedar tree that's impacting the proposed motor court. There's a little bit of the health information and the DBH measurements on the left on the screen. So here is the town arborist analysis. For the cedar tree, the town arborist recommends approval of the HTR, the replacement, and specifies what the replacement should be, the 3 36-inch box oak trees. For the redwood multi-trunk tree, which was right at the front entry of the property on the pedestrian gate and entry, the town arborist recommends denying that HTR request. However, if the planning commission were to approve it, the town arborist makes a condition or a recommendation for what should replace that tree. And now, just one last piece, and that's the planning staff analysis. Hopefully you saw in the staff report that the planning department has, actually me, my decision or my opinion was that I would approve both removals, and largely my decision is based on the design of the residence, the frontage, the symmetricality of the front facade, the symmetricality that plays out in front of the building in the motor court and the entryway. The arborist points out that there's many off-center pedestrian entries to properties in Atherton. However, my decision was based on the symmetrical aspects of the design and tying the site design to the building design.
We don't do anything based on design, in my knowledge. Everything's been done based on well, we'll come back to that, but right now, that would never be a criteria for anything we've ever done in the 13 and a half years that I've been here. That's like a design review element, and not a ordinance based. So we'll come back to that. Okay.
So we have 2 motions teed up. One is where you would take the staff recommendation, approve the special structures permit, approve the TPZs, and approve the HTR request. The alternative motion is a split. It's an approval of, it's basically what the town arborist said. We approve the special structures, approve both TPZs, approve one removal, the cedar tree, and deny the removal of the redwood multi-trunk heritage tree.
Okay.
And if you, as a commission, come up with alternatives, we can fashion that into customizing one of these approaches.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, good. Then I'll go ahead and open up the public comment section. We didn't hear for the applicant or the representative in this case, I think.
Good evening. I'm Jude Carrick, PPA. Also on Zoom, I believe, is Laura May Sarusi, who's the project architect on the job, who's been dealing primarily with Sally and staff. I want to start with thank you for the compliment, Chair Lane.
Yeah.
I actually designed the current house that's on the property back in 1997.
If I could get those marble floors in my house, I'd take them like that.
Yeah, so anyhow, yeah, this is a little bit special. It was the second custom home that I did in the town of Atherton and the fourth home overall beyond PPG spec homes. So I appreciate your comment, but the reality is the house is very dated and it's almost 30 years of useful life. So when our new client came to us with the opportunity to design a beautiful traditional Georgian home, you know.
That's it looked like a plantation type Georgia home.
Yeah, Southern Georgia. So anyhow, just a little history on the property. It is two parcels that we've merged. The second parcel, the second parcel that we've merged was acquired after I was done with the design, but the client, I believe there was an old cottage in the back, and the long access driveway that's currently there, they kept it because they built a golf hole in that, on that part. So anyhow, we want to keep the access driveway to the right, but it was thought, can we preserve that in some way to work with, the other entries, and it really doesn't work. But it's actually ideal for service, and then also overflow our clients would like to entertain. So we want to keep that driveway, and with Sally's guidance, create some kind of connection through those beautiful oaks, to make the house function properly. So the issue tonight is two. One, we have the opportunity to do extended height, and this is an ideal lot for that. It's completely screened on basically all four sides. There's a tremendous amount of heritage trees on the property. Staff has already noted that. We think we're actually going to improve the aesthetics of the property by taking out some of those trees in the front to create this motor court. Unfortunately, we can't get symmetrical. There was a lot of internal design thought to create an entrance that did not impact, the trees. So we had to pick a point, and the point that we've picked, we think is ideal to help preserve the heritage trees, yet still maintain the integrity of the design. Getting back to the height, I think we've done a good job in satisfying the requirements, and we actually exceed the required dimensions. And then on top of that, with Sally's guidance of review of the screening plan, which is forthcoming, any potential gaps will be filled by whatever size tree that Sally deems necessary. So when it's all done, the home will be nicely screened from the neighbors. And to your point, staff's point, the flag on the right side, the easterly side, does add that extra level of buffer. And on top of that, the lot next to it is another PPA client, so there is no concern on that side. And then the new home that was built on the northerly, westerly side, we've been in contact with that neighbor, and there's been no objections or no concerns. So the height, I think, is well addressed. In terms of the motor court, the pedestrian entry, staff has really done a great job of summarizing it. We feel very strongly that the home really wants that pedestrian entry because the symmetrical nature of the design. So we would love the commission to consider staff's recommendation and improve all three items that we've petitioned for tonight.
Can I ask you about the alternatives that you had on the pedestrian entrance? There's a B and a C.
Yes.
Is there a restriction on the loop on alternate A? There's in the drawing I'm looking at.
Right.
There was no extension of the loop that would not impact that tree. Is that what?
Yeah. So once again, we think the proposal we're coming is least impactful. Every option had some negative to it. So, our preference is to keep with what's proposed. I think Laura may be able to chime in if you had any specific, because She corresponded directly with staff and
What's-
Sally.
What's the
Um,
issue with alternate C? It doesn't look like it's a tree issue.
I don't know if Laura May's
I don't
online.
see her. Is she on? I don't.
She's on.
Hello.
Hello? You're there?
Hi, everyone. This is Laura May.
Yeah, Laura May, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, thank you. Sorry I couldn't be with you guys in person, Yeah, so the option A, B, C, you're talking about for the pedestrian options, right? For the pedestrian access?
Yes,
Yeah, so basically, when we were looking at A, B, and C, C was the least impactful, but our point there was just that it was delivering pedestrians to the driveway versus the motor court. So we were just thinking from like a safety perspective that was less desirable. And obviously, the whole architectural design again is more symmetrical. So those those were kind of our criteria that it was option C was possible, but less desirable given that it's not really delivering people. It's delivering them to the exit driveway of the property rather than to the main kind of entry motor court where people would potentially be, getting out of cars and walking in for events and things.
so, and there was no look at arcing C over to connecting with where A hits the motor court, hits the pathway? Is that?
Yeah, I
looks
mean,
like-
it could have potentially been a meandering, walkway in, but I guess we tried to be fairly direct with delivering people onto the property.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I just want to say one thing, there is a concern on Linda Vista. It's a very narrow street. If you've ever driven down there, and so we felt strongly that if anybody does park, we want to make sure they get off the street as quickly as possible and as safely as possible. I know that's kind of a little bit diversion from what we're talking about, but,
There was no parking available on that side of the street at all.
exactly. So, we're trying to address that. We're going to have an encroachment issue, in terms of designing up the front. So we're working with Frederica Muller on a landscape plan. But, that is part of what we're going to address, at least for our frontage. And, we hope to make that street a little safer. As all of you know, Fairview, Linda Vista, Monte Vista, they're narrower streets, and I think there's been some safety and speed concerns on them, so.
It would normally be parking, though. That's all construction park.
All construction.
I don't think there was any space in front of it because of the trees in front. Across the street, there was parking, not down the street. All right, any other
Well,
questions?
no, maybe I missed something. And what is the issue with alternate A?
That's where the tree would be cut down.
Okay, got you.
Alternate A it would be the tree that Sally
Got
would.
you.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you. Again, if I could get that marble. What a great design, everything. I mean, the bricks in the back porch, everything, just beautiful. All right. Okay, is there anyone else here to speak on the item or anybody else online? I'm going to go ahead and close the public comment section, and bring it back for discussion and action as appropriate. Hey, there's nothing in the history of anything I've ever done on here that's been, this is the third planning commission I've been on in 40 years. 2 of them had design criteria as an element. This one never has. So design criteria has never been an element that I know of. Go ahead.
Town planner Brittany Bendick. So one of the reasons we even raised design is because it was a topic at the May Planning Commission meeting on 18 Jackson Forest Road, where the Planning Commission the Planning Commission was empathetic to the design consideration for the removal of 3 trident maples. And prior to making the decision, I was asked, well, what other things can we take into consideration? And at that point, I noted the extent of existing heritage trees on site, as well as that particular owner's long-term stewardship and desire to shift the planting nature to, fit with the aesthetic vernacular at that time, and he wasn't even about symmetry. So one of the things that we built into the argument, even though it does note the symmetry of the design, is the fact that there are multiple other redwood trees flanking front of the property line. And then we've also noted the, 65 heritage trees on site.
Yeah,
67.
67, actually.
So that is how we approached it in the staff report
Okay.
and the recommendation, and that was specifically because of a recent conversation here.
That other tree was specifically planted, and it caused a problem on the existing sidewalk. That's why I was more receptive to that one. All right, that's all, that's the only comment. I would be inclined to take Sally's recommendation, but
I would normally, because I don't think that aesthetically that sidewalk has to be perfectly straight. In fact, it might even be nice to come in at a curve because you got a lot of other curves happening. However, to your point, the fact that they have a lot of trees, and particularly along that front line, they have a lot of big trees. I would be inclined to let them take that tree down.
So, and the planting, if that was what happened with the removal of tree 8, we'd be looking at a replacement with 3 36-inch oak trees, is that, or box oak trees, correct?
That's correct. For just the one tree.
I'm sorry.
And there, for just that tree. There's also 3
the
replacement for the
Theodore,
other tree
or whatever
that
that other
the
tree
town
was,
arborist.
the cedar
and-
tree.
Correct. So
Yeah,
it'd be,
so 3 for each.
correct.
All right. I think that's I think that's a fairly generous replanting scheme. And I tend to agree with Bob as far as the forestation of the rest of the lot. I hate taking out a redwood, but
it's not a particularly good looking at redwood. I
no, I
mean,
get it. And
It's-
the other thing is with alternate A, you're looking at the removal of a better looking redwood anyway. So I can go along with the removal of number 8, especially with the 3 36-inch box oak trees.
It was the tree that was quite entwined.
no, that's not. That's not. Yeah, I was going to ask about that. The tree that's outside in the notch now, is that going to stay or not? There's a notch externally, and there's a tree outside that's intertwined with the power line and other things that I didn't see. I thought that was 8 on the map I was looking at.
On their plans, they're showing a tree Xed out that's in the right of way, but it doesn't give any other information, so.
Okay, do you know which one I'm talking about?
No, I don't, but we showed all heritage trees on the plans, both outside and off. So it might be under.
Okay, let me see.
Actually, that was a problem. Your arborist did extensive listing of tree after tree after tree with little thumbnail pictures, et cetera, but there was, my packet, there was no map.
I got a map, but I got multiple maps, but yeah, there was a lot of trees, and some of the maps had a number, and other ones showed there's a notch in the, and that's why I thought originally that 8 was outside the fence now, but and when I actually watched the property, 8 is inside the fence now.
I see.
Yeah, so down from that, there's a notch with a outside oak that's on the street, yeah.
The project architect, Laura May, has indicated that the tree in the notch on the street side will remain.
It will.
Yes.
Okay, it just needs to be pruned dramatically because it's intertwined with the power lines or
And
cable line.
I can unmute her if you'd like to hear more from her on this.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah.
Hi again. Yes, so the tree on the street side, our plan is to keep notch the existing wall. I guess we're going to build a new wall that will match the existing wall and notch around the existing trees on the outside. So that's definitely part of our plan, is to build a new wall with piers. So we'll work around roots and things. And we kind of already discussed some of that with staff. So that's definitely the plan, to keep all of those other street side heritage trees. And
Yeah,
anything on the plan that's shown is 6 inches or larger. So there's quite a few, but all the trees should have been tagged on site too. They're all numbered.
All right, very good. I just, originally I looked at the map and I thought that was tree number 8. And then when I walked the property, I found that tree number 8 was the redwood with the three or four spindle. Isn't it? It's got 3 different major.
Yeah, correct. It's like an 18-inch main trunk and then 2 6-inch offshoots on either side. I think that's right, Sally.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the one they have approved to removed.
They have that to approve.
That one has been approved for removal.
Okay, so
There
which,
are other redwood trees located in the main buildable area that will be removed too. So it doesn't say in my memo what has been already approved.
yeah, there were signs on the trees that said approved and not approved yet and things like that. So it was really handy. They were well documented. So I don't know if you did that, but it was helpful.
I think actually our Frederica, our landscape architect, went out and noted a bunch of the trees just to clarify for everyone.
It was the easiest mapping. It got me aware of what we're doing, but I'm still not clear if the triple redwood is not the tree we're talking about. Which tree is it? Is it the one to the left of that one, or the right of it?
So the number 11 redwood is the one that Sally approved at staff level, and that is a 2-trunk redwood. That's
Okay.
somebody's circling it right now on the screen.
Yeah.
That's number 11, which was approved at staff level. Number
Alright.
8 is the triple, which is what I described, the 18-incher with the 2 offshoots.
Right.
And it's kind of an
Okay.
ugly looking tree,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
it's sort of tucked in. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that we're talking about the same one. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we saw. Yeah, we redid the map several times and walked the property from different angles to figure that out. But yes, thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Okay, I understand what you're going for, Sally, on this one. But, I really don't like the idea of basing it on a design. If it came down to optimizing the fact that the tree is not that good a tree makes more sense to me than the design. When we start toeing down, I don't mind having design as part of what we do here on the planning commission, but you start going down that path and it gets different than we've been in for a long time. So I would really make that less of a focus point of our decision-making process going forward, because it gets to be a slope that we have chosen not to go down. All right, but I'm comfortable with these 2 trees being taken out in this particular case. Any motion? All right,
I move that the planning commission approve the special structures permit request for increased building and sidewall heights. Approve the tree protection zone exception requests for distances ranging from 4.5 to 6.5 times the respective trunk's diameter at breast height, noted at 4.5 times to 6.5 times for 2 heritage trees. Approve the heritage tree removal, 1 cedar tree number 12, and 1 redwood multi-trunk heritage tree number 8.
Second.
she wasn't quite done, but yeah. Yeah,
It is.
yeah. That was a very technical one. All right. They're moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right, opposed, none. All right, good. There you go. You can do it again. All right.
It'll be better than the one that said.
Yeah. Yeah, I went back and looked at the background of that. In 96, when the previous house was bought, it was sold for $1.4 million before you built your new one. Wow. What a difference. Yeah. All right, thank you. All right, next item is a special structure permit for 7 Betty Lane. Which,
This is me, town planner Brittany Bendix,
all right,
introducing.
very good. Go for it.
Just 1 second to get the slides
Well, you
up.
guys are playing volleyball with us today.
Yes. I'm not alone anymore. All right, go ahead and next slide. So this is, not a heritage tree removal request, but a special structures request. The title slide's wrong. And we're gonna be frozen on it because that's my luck. So I'll just jump ahead.
All right.
Staff's recommendation is that the planning commission approve the special structures request that would allow a detached garage located approximately 6 feet behind the front wall of the main residence, where 30 feet is otherwise required, based on the findings in the staff report and subject to conditions of approval in the certificate. Some background on this property. It is a 1.24 acre flag lot in the R1A zoning district, situated at the end of Betty Lane, which is a cul-de-sac accessed from Polhemus Avenue. prior improvements were actually demolished earlier this summer. I think the staff report indicated that there was an existing residence still there. It's not, it's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You probably noticed.
yeah,
when
we
you
noticed
went out
that.
there. And then I wanted to indicate at this point that in this image, you can see that the prior garage was legally non-compliant relative to this setback that we're talking about at this point, where it was in alignment with the front building wall of the main residence and not set back, it looks like very much at all. Next slide. So the project is a new single-family residence with attached ADU, detached ADU, and detached garage. The project is overall compliant with most requirements of the Atherton Municipal Code. The exception is that it requires a special structures permit for the location of the detached garage, which is allowed by the planning code because this is a flag lot, so it doesn't need a variance. The planning code inherently recognizes that there are some difficulties with structure placement on properties, and so the special structures permit process is inherently meant to be easier than getting a variance granted. The garage, as I mentioned previously, is approximately 6 feet behind the front building wall where 30 feet is required. The findings that are required, as Tom had touched on the previous project, really relate to privacy. The proposed building or structure won't negatively impact neighboring properties with respect to privacy in view. The proposed building or structure complies with other development standards such as height and landscaping screening, and that the granting of the special structures permit is consistent with the objectives of the general plan and the zoning code. Staff has made a recommendation that the Planning Commission grant the specials permit at 7 Betty Lane, specifically because it meets these findings under staff's review, especially since the proposed garage is actually more compliant with the overall planning code than the existing or previous garage was. That concludes my presentation. This applicant is here and available to speak.
And I knew you were finished because it said thank you.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Any questions of staff? All right, good. Then, oh, go ahead.
I saw the notice to stop construction. Some of that demolition done without permits?
There are issues with the property next door that is under construction and having enforcement complaints. So I'm not aware of any enforcement actions on 7 Betty, but 9 Betty does have some enforcement actions on
It
it.
was posted on 7.
7? Okay, well, I
Well,
can look
And
into
and I
that.
expected to find structures when I got there, and there was,
And there were none, yeah.
There were
that's putting
nothing.
it mildly.
Practice.
Yeah,
It
there's
was,
nothing.
it was flat.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I'll
And-
check the record, but you can go ahead and move on to public comment while I do that.
All right, great. Go ahead and go, open the public comment for the applicant or their representative.
Thank you, Chair Lane and Commissioners. My name is Chris Coomer of CKA Architects in Menlo Park. The enforcement action at the property is for 9 Betty, unless there's been some enforcement and nobody told me. But I believe it's for the neighbor, and they've been under construction for a while. I'm not sure what's going on over there, but they stopped during their basement dig. So I believe that's what's going on.
There was a big pile of dirt that looked like somebody was making either an Olympic pool or a basement. I wasn't sure which.
It's a basement, and
And
we're
I
not
can
sure.
confirm we don't have any enforcement cases active right now on this property.
All right, good. It looks very straightforward, yeah.
Yeah, so this special structures request is more actually about the main structure in a sense. And what we're trying to do, if you remember when you looked in to the right, when you drive in, there's a stand of trees. So that pushes the driveway over 40 feet to keep that privacy, keep that screening. We want to keep that screening from our property to the driveway for 9 and to the next neighbor as well. So the goal here was to keep that stand of trees, have our driveway, and not plant the building right on the driveway. So then have a front yard. So essentially that pushes the building back, and that gives more privacy for the 9 Betty and as well, the neighbor adjacent. So in as much as it's for the special structures permit for the garage, we're also talking about really making the residence kind of be more private from the adjacent one. And I think the intent of the 30-foot setback is to subordinate the garage from the main structure.
Right.
If that's the case, I think we're still achieving that. If you look at the layout of things, the garage is the furthest thing on the property then from the entry, and in that way, it's subordinated. So we're hoping it's a thoughtful request, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions? All right, we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Still have a question in my mind about why a breezeway doesn't count as as attached, but that's my own thing. All right, we need a motion or a discussion, whatever you want to do. I don't have any questions on this one. This is the easiest one I went to. All right, go ahead.
I move that the planning commission approve special structures permit at 7 Betty Lane to allow a attached garage located approximately 6 feet behind the front wall of the main residence, where 30 feet is required, for a total of 90 feet of property, based on the findings in the staff report and subject to the conditions approval certificate.
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed, no abstain. All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, the grand finale tonight is at 236 Camino Lago. And we'll go ahead and hear the,
Back to town planner Brittany Bendix. And we're back on Camino El Lago, but with a different project, also titled as Heritage Request, but not. It is a special structures request. So we'll move past this slide.
all right, good.
Our recommendation tonight is that you approve the special structures request that accommodates the construction of a basement that is larger than the first floor perimeter and site retaining walls that are supporting a sunken tennis court as part of a full site development. The background on this property is that it's a 1.986 acre lot. And I went 3 decimal places is because it rounds all the way up to 2.
Oh, yeah, right.
Trying to be a little specific. It's R1A zoning district. It's at the intersection of Camino El Lago and Monte Vista Avenue, accessed by Camino El Lago, but with the Atherton Channel running along the west side of the property and along the Monte Vista frontage there. Prior on-site improvements here were demolished in 2021, so it's been sitting vacant for some time. The proposed project is a new 18,275 square foot residence with garage, a 497 square foot J80, which is just under the 500 square foot limit, 1,197 square foot detached ADU, 793 square foot pool house and pool, the tennis court, called out on the site plan there from your staff report as a sports court. And then, as I mentioned previously, what's triggering the special structures request is the extent of the basement itself and the retaining walls that are encompassing the tennis courts. Next slide. So Atherton Municipal Code Section 17.44030 limits basements to the footprint of the first floor. 140 feet can be exempt at the staff level. The project, however, is proposing a basement that extends collectively 415 feet beyond the footprint. So in this scenario, they require review by the Planning Commission. And the graphic on the right, which was in the staff report, the pink shading, red shading doesn't show up as right here, but the items here call out the location of the areas where the perimeter has been
It actually shows
exceeded.
better on our screens than it looks up there. So our screens show the pink a little bit more distinctly.
Great. Next slide.
Is the little box on the right, just to clarify, is that an access stairwell or something? The small box with a little cloud around it?
Where it says basement footprint beyond, or
Yeah.
basement beyond
Yeah.
footprint. No, that's actually a sauna.
That's a sauna, okay. All right. Okay.
The next item triggering the special structures permit as per AMC section 17.46030 which requires the spacing of the retaining walls at 4 feet for the particular height that's been proposed. This is based on a metric of at 6 feet, a 20-foot a 6-foot tall retaining wall requires each retaining wall to be separated by 20 feet. And then diminish that 20-foot requirement by 4 feet for every 1 foot of height the retaining wall is lowered. So the way that this works out is it would be approximately a 4-foot separation requirement for 2 retaining walls, but what's actually proposed is a 2-foot, 3-inch separation. This is eligible to seek a special structures permit from the Planning Commission, and the intent behind this is really to facilitate lower level or grade of the actual sports court level. And in order to do that without getting closer to the property line, the retaining walls have to be tightly located or tightly situated. Next slide.
And there are no structural issues with that? There's no,
At this point, it's only been reviewed by the planning department. This after planning department review is completed, then the next step for this applicant is to submit their building permit. During the building permit review, that would then be for structural stability.
okay.
Sally's gone now, but there's some trees right next to where that tennis court's going. Prior iteration, parts of this whole project, has there been a TPZ exception done?
So one of the procedural things that we're working on shifting in response to issues that have been raised here is when applicants submit directly to the planning department first, we're bringing Sally into that review. So Sally has already reviewed these plans and worked with the applicant on a strategy to avoid necessitating a tree removal or tree protection zone exception that requires planning commission review. So she's already reviewed it and either determined that she can approve it at staff level or that it's not a proximity issue.
Okay. I don't see how they can build a tennis court and not infringe on the tree protection zone of those trees, but take your word for it.
I can certainly look at the plan set with you. I can pull it up and can identify what those trees are and if they're even, are they identified as heritage trees?
They appear to be, yes.
Okay, let me look into that while we continue.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, good.
Okay, I will bring that up as I
All right.
wrap up
All right, good.
my presentation. This is the applicant who will
Right.
speak after me as well.
Right.
So again, the findings here are specific to impacts to the neighbors relative to privacy and view, as well as overall compliance with the requirements of the zoning code and the general plan. Staff has made the findings that staff is recommending approval based on that these findings are all met, especially given the fact that the 2 items seeking or necessitating the special structures permit are located generally below grade. That concludes my presentation. Have my recommended motion. I'll bring up those other plans. Are there any other questions?
Where's the thank you slide? Okay, there. Okay, now I know. All right, very good. Any questions? All right, good. Then I'll go ahead and open up the public comment section and we'll hear from the applicant or their representative.
My apologies for interrupting there.
No, that's all right.
My name is Lars Nelson. I'm with Swatton Partners Architects. Also on the call is Robert Swat from Swatton Partners and representative from Surface Design Landscape Architects. Thank you for considering our special structures requests. Brittany, are you able to pull up the site plan that I sent today?
Roll up.
It's just illustrative, and there we go. Thank you. The primary goal of our design is to minimize the impact of a large home design by locating the structure close to the center of this nearly 2-acre site. Our building walls are located far in excess of the required setbacks, creating a park-like setting that reinforces the semi-rural and scenic site with expansive open spaces. We have worked very carefully with the existing perimeter and site heritage trees to ensure that almost all are retained to maintain the existing visual screening and to lessen the impact to neighboring properties and street frontages. The special structures permits we are requesting both are in service to this goal by reducing view impacts and visible structures above grade. The basement areas outside the main level are minimal, as 95% of the basement is located directly under the main level. The 275 square feet that we are requesting is far below the maximum allowable of 1,479 square feet. The sunken tennis court also reduces visual impact, and the small retaining walls are actually more accurately described as curbs. They're in no case taller than 30 inches. And as you know, a 3-foot retaining wall requires structural calculations. Less than 3 feet is not considered a retaining wall. These curbs are located closer than 20 feet to each other to avoid encroachment on existing heritage tree drip lines so that the existing park-like setting of the site is maintained and enhanced. And Brittany, if you could go to the last drawing on that. There is our tree protection zone, and you can see the heritage trees. And on the left side of the sports court, you can see
Oop. Go, yeah, there. Go, go up, go
how
up.
the
Yeah.
location of these walls and the reason that they're located closer than allowable is to avoid that tree protection zone. So we're not asking for an exception to that. And that's what we reviewed with Sally.
Okay.
So we're happy to answer any questions. If you have any specific landscape questions for the tennis court, we have surface design available.
All right, any questions? All right, you covered it well, thank you. Thank you for waiting also. All right, I don't have any questions, and I'm comfortable. So, everybody got a motion? How about if I do this one?
Okay, you do.
All right, I move the planning commission approve the special structures permit at 236 Camino Lago to accommodate the construction of proposed basement area and site retaining walls as part of the full site development.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed, no absence, and no abstain. So you're on and running. All right, thank you very much. All right. Let's see. We got what do we have? A staff report?
Yes, Town Planner Brittany Bendix. I do want to acknowledge that we had an appeal on 94 Palmer that went to City Council last Wednesday. And the City Council upheld the Planning Commission decision unanimously. So just an update on that. This was a variance for front and rear yard setbacks on a former SB 9 split.
All right.
And that's the only report I have for you tonight.
All right, good. Commissioner report? Nothing? All right, good. So then, with that, then I need a motion to adjourn.
With it, adjourn.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, good. Who is the second on?